Hey guys and gals, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to change the oil and filter on a 5th generation Toyota 4Runner. What you're going to need is a S10158 XL filter and 0.20 weight. It requires 6.5 quarts. An oil wrench to take off the oil cap. It is a OFTOY 468. This fits on the majority of the Toyotas. A drive for it, some way to drive it. Phillip head screwdriver, drain pan, funnel, brake cleaner, paper towels. First things first, run the motor, get it warm, get the oil warm. Once the oil is warm, pop the hood. Right above the Toyota symbol, push the lever, pull left, lifts up. It says 0.20 weight, engine oil. It's on the right side of the engine. Go into the car, directly under your motor you will see a drain pan access port. You got two 12 millimeters here, so you have to remove these 12 millimeters. There we go. You can swing it out of the way, and now you have access to your drain pan. Slide the drain pan underneath, and go in with the 14 millimeter. Don't forget your oil is hot. Once you start feeling it get really loose, get ready. What you're going to do is you're going to grab it and really just kind of drop down fast, straight down and out of the way so you don't burn your hand. Alright, now we got to get back up. Alright, now you have to take off your skid plate, and the way it works is you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you also have 3 cover bolts. 1, 2, 3 here. So you take this cover off to loosen it. That's 10 millimeter. And then these are going to be 12 or 13s here. And the whole thing will kind of like drop down this way. And there's metal hooks on this upper part, the front, that actually hold it into place. There, that you would have to kind of like slide off to bring it off. Mine's missing one, so I don't have to take off that one. Now that you got this cover loose, time to start taking off these two. Don't take that one out all the way. You're going to take that out last. Skid plate's off. Here's the oil filter housing and the cap, and then there's a drain plug right here. This is what we came to get to while we took the skid plate off. Now that you have the skid plate off, it should be done dripping and draining. You want to clean your drain plug very well. Get it nice and clean, and then come put it back on, torque it down. Now that you have the cover and plug back on for the drain, now we got to change the filter. It has a plug right here on the bottom. You got a 3/8 drive. Should just snap right on up in there. Alright. And pop it off. Now that you have the drain plug off and it's nice and drained, come over here, take your Toyota tool, slide it on, and break it free. Now you can see the filter. Now that we have it off, you have your drain plug and its O-ring that was on there, and then you have the O-ring on the housing. You can see, gotta take this off. It's off. Alright. See there's a spot for an O-ring there, and then you have your O-ring here. Open the new one up, got your new filter, and you got your new O-rings. Has a little instruction manual too, how to do it. Alright, you pop off the filter, the old one. You look inside there and see if it's all nasty inside there. You know, empty it out. If it's all nasty and has stuff inside, use brake cleaner and clean it out. Take the new filter, pop it right on in. Time to change the O-ring. Take your flathead screwdriver, pop the O-ring off. Take the new O-ring, get a little bit of oil and oil the whole thing. Just a light thin coat over the whole thing. Go seat it back in its O-ring groove. There. Then you take the new smaller O-ring, clean the surface, oil the O-ring, clean the surface here, the mating surface, make sure there's no trash on it. Set the O-ring in its place. Just hand tight until we get it up there, and then we'll tighten it the rest of the way. New O-ring here, filter in. I come through and just kind of clean the threads, clean the housing up a little bit, wipe it clean. Make sure your O-ring is lubed still. Time to screw it back on in. Come in, wipe the mating surface, make sure it's nice and clean. It'll start getting tight as soon as you hit that O-ring. You fill that O-ring, hit that chamfer and go into the straight section. Then you'll feel it tighten. And there will be a spot where the safety piece goes just past that lip. Alright. Now that you have the housing tight, you gotta tighten the drain plug. Spray everything with brake cleaner. Time to add oil. Alright, you're gonna add 6.5 quarts. Once you have your 6.5 quarts in, screw the lid back on. Just hand tight. Start it up, get the oil flowing through it, then we're gonna check the level. Time to check the engine oil. It's on the left side front. Make sure it's nice and clean. And you can see it's all the way to the top. It's wet to the top. Once you check the level, then now you want to go drive it and check for leaks. You want to go underneath, check for leaks. Once the motor's nice and hot, see if it's leaking around the housing. If it's not leaking, put the skid plate back on. So your skid plate's going to have hooks right here. I actually bent mine up so it makes it easier to take it on and off. But they have the hooks here is made to hook in place, so when you slide it up and you make sure you hook it in place. Slide this underneath. You'll hook it up in place. Let's get this front one started. Alright, once you have it started, it'll hold itself. Then go in and get the back one going. Now that you have all four of them on, skid plates in place, tighten them up. Skid plate's on. Go inside the vehicle, make sure you have your keys. What we're going to do is we're going to reset the maintenance light. So you go in here and turn it on. So you see that? Come here and cycle it to trip A. Now it's on trip A. I'm going to hold that down and reset trip A since that's my mileage for the oil. And then what you're going to do is you're going to turn it off. You're not going to turn the vehicle on, you're just going to turn the key ignition part on. Hold this button down here and you'll see a countdown. So you hold it. You see that countdown started? Once that countdown's gone, you'll see all zeros. You've officially reset it. So your maintenance light now is officially off. Hey, thanks guys. Come back and see us again. This is how you change the oil and oil filter on a 5th generation Toyota 4Runner.